Okay, today we are going to put the vertical lines in our pumpkins as well as adding our stems. And if you're making a pumpkin look like a specific type, like I am making this guy here look like a Howden Field, you have to make sure you understand how deep your line should go, and mine are not going to be that deep because the shadows aren't that deep, and also how many lines you're going to need from top to bottom. So you're going to also need one of these tools here and a little extra pinch of clay for the stem, and we'll do the stem after we do the lines. So take your pumpkin and put it in your hand like this. Let me zoom out a little bit. Please don't use your fingertips while you're holding onto your pumpkin because you don't want it to get lumpy. At the top of your pumpkin, make a little indent, and at the bottom, make a little indent as well. You're going to try to make your lines go from one end to the other. We're going to use the side of the tool. We're not going to carve into it using the tip. And start your line by just rolling the clay tool into the clay and try to match up to the bottom mark, like so. If you have a pumpkin that has a really deep line, then you're going to have to press harder than that. But my house field pumpkin is not that deep. So I'm going to start from the top again. Now I have to angle my line and come back to the same spot. If they don't match up perfectly, it's okay, but just try your best. And I'm going to keep doing this till I get all the vertical lines in there. You may have to add texture in between your lines depending on the style of pumpkin. I'm going to flip the pumpkin over to do the other side. And once this is done, I'm doing this very quickly. Once this is done, you're ready for your stem. And that's done. So your stem, all you have to do is pinch the clay into a triangular shape, like this. And you can turn it. This seems like a really big stem, but that's okay for demonstration purposes only. You can make yours smaller than this. You can have your stem larger at the base or larger at the top, depending on if you're using a photograph or depending on how you like it. So I'm going to attach my stem right at the top where all the lines converge. And to make the stem stay, you need to use the end of your tool, and you need to combine the clay by pulling some of that stem clay into the body of the pumpkin all the way around, because if you don't do this, it's going to fall off. And once you have this combined all the way around, you'll notice it's really messy, so then you can use your fingers or the tool to smooth it out all the way around and make it look better, like that. On the top of the pumpkin now, I'm going to replant those lines with my tool because I erased a little bit by putting the stem on. Some of these stems have texture on them, so you can use the side of your tool to create little texture lines going around all the way if you would like, if that's the type of pumpkin that you're making. And sometimes the stems curve to one side or the other. They don't stay straight. So that looks pretty good. And there is my vertical lines, texture, and stem.